It's time for Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Presented by Protection One Security Solutions. Now, here's Don Harris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ferris Stadium. We're looking live at their brand new Convocation Center here at Dub Ferris Stadium, but we're talking football tonight. It's Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. It's a District 28 6A showdown between Brandeis and Marshall. Good evening, everybody. Don Harris with you, along with Chuck Mikatinik. Chuck, Brandeis is 1-0 in district play. They're off to a good start, and for them, it all gets started with their quarterback.
Indeed, Don. This is a team, Brandeis, when they started this season, that really was going to lean on its defense because their offense was so young, only 3 returning players from last year. But they're leaning on Mason Corbett. Now, this is a young man who's really made his mark on the baseball field. He's been a starter for them ever since he was a freshman, already committed to Texas A&M, but growing up before our very eyes on this football field, and in fact, he had 5 touchdown passes a week ago.
Yeah, 11 passes, 5 of them went for touchdowns. When they're not throwing it, they're running the football, and this is Ryan McGowan, their running back number 1 to keep your eye on tonight.
Ryan McGowan's another baseball player that's getting his first real crack to get a chance at running back here on the football team, and he's really bulked up. But he was one of the guys that actually caught a couple of those touchdown passes last week. He's a threat to run it. He's also a threat to catch the ball and bust one, too, that way.
The Marshall Rams went 0-10 last year. They've already doubled that win total with 2 wins this year, and they've got some guys growing up right before our very eyes, including their running back, Norman Davis.
Yeah, Don, this is a young man that is creeping up on a 1,000-yard season already, and there are going to be a couple of guys on this football field tonight. They might be 2 of the best players at their position in the entire city that we just don't know about yet, but Norman Davis is one of them.
I tell you what, everybody in San Antonio is going to know about number 11, Stanley Lambert, after tonight. This kid's special.
Just a junior and really just now trying to figure out how good he can really be. I mean, you look at his size, you look at his ability to get down the field. He's got great hands. This kid is an emerging superstar in the San Antonio area.
All right, it's a warm one here on the field at Ferris Stadium. Let's go down to the hardest working man in show business. He does the morning show, he does the night show, he does Thursday Night Lights. Mike Hernandez. Mike, you get any sleep?
What's that? What's that? Hey, actually, you know what? It's very pleasant out here on the field. Most of the field is almost completely shaded right now. So game time temperature is about 85 degrees, a southeast wind at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And it's, as you can see outside there, we have mostly sunny skies. So it's going to be a very pleasant evening. And I think as we cool down into the low 80s between now and in the fourth quarter, I think we're going to just enjoy it. And then the cold front comes in tomorrow, and then it's really going to feel like fall.
All right, thanks, Mike. Hey, sit back, enjoy some football on a beautiful night on a Thursday night. It's Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. It's Brandeis and Marshall straight ahead.
Closed captioning of tonight's game is brought to you by Rodriguez Butcher Supply.
Welcome back to Dub Ferris Stadium, everybody. Marshall fans getting their grub on before kickoff. Speaking of grub, it is time for our Church's Chicken keys to the game. Chuck.
Yeah, first for Brandeis, Don. Coach Fleener said he learned this from Jim Streety, and it's the same 3 every week. They want to run the ball, they want to stop the run, and they want to get some turnovers.
Here's Coach Fleener. Are they looking past Marshall?
No, they're all big for us. I mean, once you're in the district race, especially with the way we do zone play, you only get 4 games. I mean, you can't take anything for granted. This is a well-coached team from Marshall. They're hungry. They come out. They play extremely hard. And if you don't play your best game, they're going to beat you.
As for the Marshall Ram, Chuck, what are their keys?
Well, first of all, Don, they want to execute on both sides of the ball. Secondly, they don't want to turn the ball over. They know they're going up against a team that's pretty darn good in Brandeis. And then lastly, try to do something in the kicking game that might swing this contest in your favor.
Tim Williams is 2-4, but he also knows he's got a lot of talent on this team.
Well, I think it's just a constant work in progress. These kids are great and wonderful, and all week they've been wanting to turn this program around, and this is a big game for us to do that, you know, and our kids are a firm believer in pounding the rock and doing what we've asked them to do. So I'm excited about it.
So are we. It's going to be a good one. Marshall and Brandeis here at Dub Ferris Stadium. We'll have the kickoff of Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights when we come back on the CW 35. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. We're at Dub Ferris Stadium on the north side of San Antonio, where it's Brandeis and Marshall on the CW35 tonight. Brandeis Broncos, one of the better teams in all of San Antonio, starting to hit their stride, Chuck, going into district play.
Oh, they really are. I mean, and this is a really talented defensive team that is starting to figure its way out with the offense. They're a really improving team as we go week to week and going to be a force to be reckoned with before it's all said and done.
Before we kick it off, it's time for our national anthem, and I'll turn it over to our public address announcer, Lou Caluza.
Carrying the Texas flag, Cadet Ensign Adele Ramos. The American Guard, Cadet Lieutenant Commander Seth Blocker. And the Texas Guard, Cadet Lieutenant Commander River Moore. At this time, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats to honor America and the men and women serving in our armed forces around the world. Our national anthem this evening will be played by the John Marshall Graham High School Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Kevin Tabb.
Nice rendition of our national anthem. We're almost ready to kick it off here between the Broncos and the Rams. Coach Jeff Fleener's squad out to a good start. Marshall, on the other hand, went 0-10 a year ago, but they've already won 2 ball games this year. And as we said at the top of the show, they have a couple of athletes that you want to keep your eye on. Here's last year's meeting. It was 55-0. But again, that was a Marshall team that went 0-10. And as we heard Coach Tim Williams earlier tonight saying this is a team that believes they can turn the program around, and they're fired up about the challenge tonight.
Well, you know, they've improved every week, Don, and they haven't gotten the wins, but you can see growth and you can see what Coach Williams is doing with this program. And then, you know, of course Coach Fleener was great quarterback in his own right back in the day when he was at Madison. I told him before the game, man, you make me feel old every time I look at you, because I remember doing a scholar athlete piece on him when he was back in high school.
There's our officials tonight. Greg Dockery, the man leading the group. Greg's our referee. He'll be joined by Bo Campbell, Kenneth Schultz, Jim Van Geffen is the line judge. Brett Ullman is the side judge. Artie Ritteman, the field judge, and the back judge is Thomas Kales. The Brandeis Broncos will receive, keep your eye on number 27, Sean Mellish. If you remember Thursday Night Lights a year ago, he's a very special young receiver and kick returner, and he's had a big career for the Brandeis Broncos. First team all-district a year ago. This year, he's already caught 29 balls for 433 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's back there with Dylan Poor. who is their star returner. Check that. That's Ryan McGowan back there with him, the senior.
And McGowan's going to be playing running back, and Don, he might be the fastest kid on this Brandeis team. So if he gets out in the open field, pretty much kiss him goodbye.
All right, our first half kickoff is sponsored by America's Diamond. Fine jewelry for everyone. We're ready to get it underway. Kicking off for Marshall will be Juan Lucero. And we're about ready to get started. Little pooch kick. McGowan's coming up to field it. Instead, it's taken by the up man. And running out of bounds near the 29-yard line is Miles Puller. 6-yard return. That'll give us time to set up the Brandeis offense. We told you about Mason Corbett, number 7, their quarterback. On the year, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns with only 2 interceptions. And as Chuck talked about, McGowan is their star back who really has breakaway speed. He's got 7 touchdowns on the year, does number 1, but Corbett's the guy who makes him go. He can run and he can throw. Of course, his name sounds familiar. His dad, Sherm, was the baseball coach at UTSA for many years. Fires to Mellish on this side. And Sean Mellish already has a big gain and a first down. Dylan Poore, number 2 there from Marshall, brings him down, but you can see why they like him so much as we look at the offensive line for the Brandeis Broncos. Up front, Michael Brown, the starting left guard, number 70, is a San Antonio Sports All-Star Game participant. There's McGowan. He looks like he's going to break through, picks up about 12 yards across the 50-yard line. As Dylan Smith there to make the tackle, but not before he gets another first down.
Little Adonis. Watch him go.
That's a Braceland first down as Corbett hands to McGowan. Nothing doing that time. Coming up to make the tackle was Jacob Calderon. He's one of those starters up front for the Marshall Rams. Keegan Herndon keys that linebacking core, and Janal Sedberry is a big-time recruit. Playing defensive back. We'll also see him playing some running back. Here's McGowan on a trap play to the right side. Brandeis continues to have big success running the football. Dylan Poore makes the tackle.
When you talk about some of these kids and the work they put in the offseason, Ryan McGowan has blown up. Really worked on his bulk. So he's constantly eating power bars. Even probably has a couple in his back pocket during this game, but nice little cut back there and a really nice game for the Braceland first down.
First down, there's McGowan again. He pops through, he may score. McGowan to the corner. McGowan touchdown, Brandeis Broncos, and just like that, Brandeis is on the board.
You know, it's interesting, Don, watching some of these young guys grow up and the players and the athletes they become. You know, Ryan McGowan's a really talented baseball player. Getting his first varsity snaps this year, really just this season. And, you know, you think of this kid as a baseball player. I'm not so sure he's not a football player, too. Into the end zone early in this ball game to make it 6-0 Brandeis.
The extra point is up, and it is good by Manolo Zerwick. And it's 7-0 Brandeis.
And you look at him and you're thinking, man, I don't think anything can hurt this kid, but apparently a bike did. You know, he broke his hand during the summer riding his bike. And so he missed some playing time or missed some practice time, but, you know, he's kind of been moved around. He's played some wide receiver here at the school. He's also played some DB, and now you see him back there returning kicks, and now he's running the footballs. They've kind of gone by committee at Brandeis this year, but Ryan McGowan's off to a very good start to his senior year.
That was a good start for the Brandeis Broncos for sure. as they move it right down the field. 5 plays, 71 yards, only took 2 minutes off the clock. And of course, Ryan McGowan with the 31-yarder. Jeff Fleener, son of Marshall Fleener, longtime legendary coach in this town. And there's your look at Stanley Lambert, number 11, who is as Chuck talked about at the top of the show, an outstanding talent, only a junior, but with raw skills, he's a special athlete.
Yeah, looks the part. I mean, he's 6'3", 215 pounds, and this is going to be our first real look at him. And I was asking Coach Williams this week, can he run? And he just started chuckling. He couldn't even answer. He's like, yeah, he runs a 23-200, and, you know, is just now starting to figure some things out. And, you know, they think that he even surprises himself with what he's able to do. And once he does get it all figured out, I mean, they're really going to be onto something here at Marshall High School.
Lambert has that one get away from him, and so there will be no return. Marshall will take over for the first time tonight with Daniel Garza leading this offensive unit. Garza, as you can see, has passed for 764 yards on the season, 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And keep your eye on number 7, Norman Davis, a running back. We have a penalty on the play. Norman Davis has 825 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns, and has been a player that really has blossomed. They're going to re-kick this, and so Lambert will have another opportunity to try to return it.
Can't blame him when you got a guy with that kind of speed. Kind of reminds me of Roy Williams. I don't know if it's the number, but just his overall build and the way he walks. Kind of reminds me of old Roy.
Yeah, not a bad comparison there.
Probably is the number when you get right down to it.
Tall, fast,
yeah,
great hands, long arms. Coaches really like him, say if he continues to put the work in going into his senior year, he has a chance to play at the next level.
And that was the thing they were most impressed with, was the fact that he did put in a lot of work. He got in the weight room, and Coach Williams said, quote, he blew up. He's trying to work at it as well.
Zwerg's kick will be taken by Lambert right there at the 20. Got some traffic and breaks out of that. Now he's looking for some room and doesn't find any, and he'll be taken down right there. His forward progress will take him right to about the 21-yard line.
Nice tackle in the open field by Logan Fraley, number 11, on 11 that time.
All right, so the Rams with their first opportunity with the football. Told you about Garza, seen his numbers. Again, Norman Davis, the senior running back. He's not very tall, but he is very talented, and Marshall coaches also think that he's a kid that, depending on what level of college had interest, that he's the real deal. Carlos Coppins splits to the left-hand side. And we've got a flag again. This might be a false start against the Rams.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, it remains first down.
Greg Dockery with the call. That'll set up first down and 15 for Marshall.
Rolando Maldonado, number 43, a young man we got a chance to talk to this week on camera. Looked like he was going to try to find a way to shoot through a gap there and got somebody to jump.
Brandeis showing blitz. They do come. Garza fires, and it's incomplete. His receiver on the far side just had to go through his hands. That'll set up second down and 15. Here's a look at the Marshall offensive line. Robert Trujillo, the left guard, is a junior that they like a lot. David Guzman anchors that line up front. He's a senior. And Davis off the left-hand side picks up a few, and that'll set up third down and long.
Carry brought down by Cameron Haynes. Marshall possession, third down, 10 yards to go at the Rams 21.
Here's a look at the Brandeis defensive front. Ian Blake, his brother Colin Blake, played at Florida State. He's special. First team All-District and a San Antonio Sports All-Star. Keep your eye on number 2. Here's Garza. Wants to scramble, goes right up the middle for a nice gain, but he's going to be short of the first down. Michael Nelson with the tackle. Blake was also there. And Marshall will have to punt it away.
Yeah, we talked about execution, Don, in the onset for Marshall. I mean, you get that penalty, and you got to get 5 more yards on this defense, and especially that front 7. You're making things awfully difficult for yourself.
Gary Gonzalez kicking it away to Miles Puller, who pulls it in at the 45, and he's taken down right there. All right, when we come back, Brandeis will have the football. They scored quickly the first time they had it, and they lead 7-0. Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
Nice play, Keegan Herndon.
All right, welcome back. I'm joined by Victoria Vela from Church's Chicken. Thank you, Churches, for again supporting us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. We love being here.
Hey, you guys have something going special. You got a little partnership going with Via that means a lot of free chicken for some folks. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we partnered with Via, and we've been all around town. We want to get you there too. So we're having a weekly giveaway on Facebook. Churches is all about fostering family moments. So we're giving away family fun packs and meals once a week.
Okay, so, and I agree. You know, I grew up here, so Churches has always been a part of a lot of family gatherings, and I think a lot of us feel that way. So you're exactly right. Churches is a part of our culture. Now, if people want to get involved in this, there's a time frame, and that's what, in December?
Yeah, so we're picking a winner every Wednesday up until December 14th, and you can follow us on Facebook to have updates, or you can log on to our website, churchesgiveaway.com.
Right,
and there's no purchase necessary.
No purchase necessary, and December 14th is the cutoff?
Yes, December 14th is the cutoff.
Okay, got it. All right,
Yeah.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.
All right, sounds like a good deal. I think I'm going to go see if I can get me some more chicken.
Yeah.
Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Mike. Mason Corbett with a big pickup. Thought he had the first down. They're going to spot it just shy. It's going to be 2nd down and 1. Dylan Smith there to make the tackle. Marlon Flores is lined up in the backfield. There's Sean Mellish. Mellish across the 40, trying to get to the corner. Look at the speed and escapability of Sean Mellish all the way down to the 24-yard line before Dylan Poor knocks him out of bounds.
So important, the yards after the catch, and that time Mellish just kind of working his way back towards the center of the field. Got some big boys out there in front to help throw him some blocks, but you know, a lot of this is just on his own. Didn't want to go down until he picked up about another 7 or 8 yards.
Jalen Griffin splits to the right along with Terrell Cortez. It's Flores back there with Corbett, who hands to him over right tackle. He's brought down there by Shane Shovelton. Nice tackle there to keep the game minimal. Out 4. Broncos trying to go quickly here and get that play called in from the sideline. Already in good field position. Nearing the Vantage College red zone. Here's Flores. He's in the red zone and more. Nice feet inside and outside, getting all the way down to the 14-yard line.
You see what Brandeis likes to do, Don. They mix things up. You know, McGowan's got the raw speed. Flores, one of those kids. It's more like, you know, thunder and lightning attack. Just saw lightning on the first drive. This is a little more thunder. This is a big young man back there pounding the rock.
Trips left for Corbett. Looks that way, fires that way. Cortez juggled it and just couldn't bring it in. Good effort, nice play design, and he had plenty of blockers in front of him, but wanted to run a little bit before he made the catch.
See how well it looks like Mason Corbett's got of this offense, and you can only imagine with Coach Fleener, as diverse as he is with his offense and the things that he likes to do, you could tell Mason Corbett's got a firm grasp of what's going on here running this thing.
Hands to Flores. Nears the 5, tackled right at about the 7. Justin Marshall there, the junior, to make the tackle. Manuel Espinosa Jimenez also had a hand in the tackle. Number 32, the senior.
A little bit of everything so far from Brandeis.
Knocking on the door, his Flores gets outside, and a
Good job by the Marshall defense to come up and make the tackle as Samuel Putz, number 44.
Yeah, they got some big boys up front too, Marshall. They got Terry Murphy, number 45, playing the nose, and DeAndre Dunn over there on the other side at defensive end. But really nice job of those guys busting that thing up before it had a chance to get going. It looks like Brandeis is going to roll the bones here on 4th down.
It is 4th and 1. Ryan McGowan back in at running back with Corbett, who hands to McGowan. He bulls his way for the first down. And the Broncos will have 1st and goal at about the 4.
McGowan showing a little thunder and lightning.
Ryan McGowan, he's a senior. 5 touchdowns rushing the football already this year. He's checked out. Flores back in. They hand it to him. He goes off left tackle. Knocks on the door, but nobody's home yet. Joseph Mamoon, the sophomore linebacker, made the stop short of the goal line. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, nothing tricky so far down by the goal line, but the way that this Brandeis team is built with the big guys up front and the 2 shifty running backs, they can pound it a little bit here. Let's see if Coach Fleener goes to the air here, punch it in that way.
Mellish lines up on the right side. They run right instead. McGowan to the door, and he was stood up at the 1-yard line. What a tackle by Marshall Sam Putz. Also right there was number 26, Dylan Smith. Smith was the one who stood him up.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
2 of them together.
Not on my watch.
3rd down and goal. It's McGowan again, and he's brought down. Well, he's still fighting, but what a great job by the Marshall defense. Connor Watts, the outside linebacker, blitzed on the play and caught him at the 1-yard line, and he may have lost a yard.
Unbelievable play by the senior outside linebacker, snipping this one out all the way. Shoots through there, goes right through his block, and McGowan's fighting, but 25 equal to the task on that one.
All right, so they won't go forward here. Manolo Zerwick on to attempt a short field goal. It's up, and it's good, and the Brandeis Broncos have a 10-0 lead, but a nice job by the Marshall Ram defense holding them on 1st and goal from inside the 5 to just 3. Brandeis leads at 10-0. You're watching the CW35 Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Jeff Fleener's squad only manages 3 points on that last drive, but you'll take points anytime you can get them. It was an 11-play drive. It went 53 yards and took almost 2 minutes. Capped off by a 19-yard field goal by Manolo Zerwick.
A really big stand for Marshall's defense too, you know, especially after your offense doesn't move the sticks. Kind of backed up, but bent a little bit, but they did not break and really came up with a big push there on the defensive front. Especially after, you know, Brandeis picked up that first down. It looked like they were going to go right in for the score. So really nice bounce back for that Marshall defense there, sticking that to just 3 points.
All right, Stanley Lambert gave us a little bit of excitement on that first kick return. See a little bit of a flash of why there's so much hype around the young man. As Zerwick puts his foot into it, it's headed Lambert's way again. He's got it at the 10. Takes off to the right, avoids a tackle, but won't get much more than the 15. Pushed out of bounds at about the 18th, and gives us time to see what's coming up at halftime. Let's go down to the sidelines and Mike Hernandez. Mike?
Yeah, and I'm joined by the Brandeis band director, Richard Herrera. How you doing?
Just fine. How you doing?
33 years.
33 years experience, yeah.
You know, I've been asking that question here over the last few weeks of the band directors. There's a lot of them that have 20, 25, 30 years.
The kids keep you young, so you do it every year.
So what do we have planned for halftime today?
We're first going to start off with our feature for our dance team and feature twirler. It's going to be to downtown And after that, we're going to do our UIL competition show, which is called Love Letters, and performing music of Berlioz and Claude Debussy. So.
Well, listen, looking forward to hearing you. Good luck. All right, big play. Guys, you can tell us about it, but we're going to send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike. Andrew Garza made the tackle, but not before Norman Davis busted to the left-hand side and came all the way up the sidelines. And you can tell why the coaches told us on the phone this week that he's the real deal. A little undersized, but he's got good strength and speed.
You got to like the guy that runs with his knees up that high. Man, he's really quick at hitting the holes.
27 yards on the game as Garza wants to fire, doesn't see anything, and lunges for about midfield before he's brought down. Ian Blake again there to make the tackle. Ian Blake, a special athlete. As we said, he was first-team All-District a year ago. He's been selected to the San Antonio Sports All-Star team. His brother Colin Blake played at Florida State, played defensive back. Brandeis shows blitz. Garza fires right, completes it. Flag flies late after Talon Burnett appeared to get a first down, but we'll see what the flag's about. Ryan Martinez had the coverage and the tackle. And here's Greg Dockery.
An eligible player downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So instead of a first down and a new set of downs, they'll back it up and have second down and 10. As you look at our UIW Smile Cam, you can earn a degree of difference at the University of the Incarnate Word. Smile Cam, brought to you by UIW.
All right, let's see what Marshall does now. They backed themselves up a little bit again, but we've already seen they got a couple of home run hitters on this ball club.
Garza keeps, spins out of trouble. Nice play design as it was a little zone read. He kept it, picked up about 5. Joshua Guerra there to make the tackle. Evan Perez also there. Sets up third down and about 6. We tick inside of 2 minutes here in the first quarter. Garza's got Norman Davis behind him now in a straight eye. He throws it to him out of the backfield. Davis has it, has the corner, puts his head down and fights close to the 50, but it'll be short of the first down. And we'll see what Marshall wants to do here right at midfield. Will they go for it? They're going to run out the special teams unit, and they will punt it away.
Well, at least nothing there, Don. They were able to get the ball to midfield and then turn it back over to their defense. But at least they'll have, you would assume, if they can cover this punt, make Brandeis go the length of the field to get their next set of points.
Gary Gonzalez averages 34 yards a kick. And Miles Puller is a San Antonio Sports All-Star, and he takes it in and makes a nice move to get near the 35. So Brandeis will try to add more points to the board before the first quarter ends. They lead at 10-0 here at Dub Ferris Stadium. They were fired up over at the Brandeis Pep Rally, getting ready for this one. Of course, every game is a big game once you hit district play. Kids always love making fun of the faculty who got up to dance. That's always fun. Love high school football in the state of Texas. That's why we bring it to you here on Thursday Night Lights. Coach Jeff Fleeter's talking about what a great opportunity it is, Thursday Night Lights is, to showcase not only the football team, but all the spirit groups. As Corbett fires to Mellish, who brings it in, has a first down at the 45. Israel Powell there to make the tackle.
Yeah, you got Numa, Brown, Draker, Lesham, and Feichtinger up front doing a really nice job to give Corbett a great throwing lane on that one.
Mellish split right. He blocks for Corbett, who sidesteps a defender. across midfield, short of the first down. Sam Putz, the junior linebacker, there to make the tackle.
Yeah, Mason doing a really good job that time, following his running back who was blocking outside for him, so he cut it back up and made a couple of extra yards out of it.
That sets up 2nd down and 3 as we get near the end of the first quarter. About 25 seconds to go. He hands to McGowan straight ahead. Lunges toward the stick. He's going to be short. It's going to be 3rd down and less than a yard. But we will probably run that play in the second quarter. 8 seconds. And Brandeis is going to just let the clock run out with a 10-0 lead. They'll have 3rd and less than a yard when we come back. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Brandeis leads Marshall as we begin the second quarter. Time to take a look at our scoring recap. Ryan McGowan got the scoring started on a 31-yard scamper. That put the Broncos up 7-zip. Marshall, though, bowed up. Their defense saying no on a nice goal line stand. Brandeis had to settle for a Manolo Zerwick field goal. That's where we stand right now as McGowan might pop another one. Still on his feet, fighting for the 30 before he's finally brought down. And Chuck, not only does he have speed, he runs so comfortably, you don't realize he's running that fast. And then he showed strength at the end of that run.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the thunder and lightning counterpunch that Brandeis likes to have. Looks like both guys have speed and can freaking stick it at the end.
All right, Flores in at running back as McGowan checks out, 3 wide. Throw to this side to Cortez. He's got a blocker, and his blocker did too good a job as the side judge throws the flag about 15 yards, and we're probably going to have a hold. Set up a nice little wall for him, but probably too nice of a wall.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Repeat first down.
All right, so they'll back it up as Brandeis continues to bring in a few new players. Ryan Lipin there, wide receiver. Chandler Iturriaga also checks in. It's an impromptu immediate care first down. Shane Mellish one-on-one as Flores hits the gap, breaks 2 tackles before he's dropped at the 25 by Connor Watts. Good tackle there.
Sure was. We called his number quite a bit tonight. There was nothing easy about that tackle in the open field, but really nice job there. After he popped that first one, got past the first would-be tackler. He's on the ground after the second one.
Sets up 2nd down and short. Here's Flores again. Does a nice job of finding his way through that offensive line. Chuck, he's great laterally. We've seen it on a number of different runs tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the vision is there, obviously, but you're right. The patience, you're waiting for things to develop, and then when he got to the second line of defense, yeah, a little side shift there and stays balanced, low center of gravity, and really did a nice job picking his way up the field.
Flag flies on first down, thrown by the umpire as Brandeis.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
Has another penalty on this drive. That drives coaches like Jeff Fleener crazy. As we're inside the Vantage College red zone, Mellish will split out to the left-hand side for Corbett. And he's joined on the left-hand side by Jalen Griffin. Cortez in motion. A hand to McGowan. Straight up the middle. Gain of about 5 to get it back. Joseph Mamoon there to make the tackle. Just a sophomore.
These guys are really doing a nice job tackling in space right now.
Second down and about 11 as Brandeis has put themselves in a tough spot here because of a couple of penalties. Go to McGowan, gets the corner, gets out of bounds. Another flag flies late. Two of them in the same spot. As Jalen Griffin got tangled up with one of the defenders.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeats, second down.
So 2 holds and a false start for the Broncos. And Jeff Fleener is agitated right now, as well he should be.
Well, we talked about them having a really young offense, and they kind of threw a lot of kids to the Wolves. They had such a tough non-district schedule, so they kind of had to grow up here on the fly. They've done a really nice job. So, you know, stands to reason you're still going to have some growing pains with all these new kids getting their first real snaps at the varsity level.
Second and long, they run a little bubble screen. Another flag flies as Sean Mellish gets past the 20, but again, it's the umpire, and again, that's usually a hold. Dylan Smith made the tackle. The umpire threw it right at the Bronco offensive line, and I think they're marching them backwards.
Personal foul, chop block on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It remains second down.
That's even worse than a hold.
Yeah, and they're cracking down on that at every level, especially at the pro level. I mean, they don't want anybody going low on anybody anymore, and it's probably a good thing they got the kids' best interest at heart at every single level. But yeah, Brandeis having real trouble on this drive marching backwards, but we'll see if they've got something for third and actually second and forever.
Second and 35. You think that's on his play sheet?
Knowing Fleener? Yeah, probably.
Corbett wants to go deep. Does. Has Mellish. Dives. Did he catch it? No, they're going to say the ball hit the ground. Again, we don't have replay in high school football, but it's going to be fun to look because Sean Mellish swears he caught it.
Honestly, I mean, first of all, the ref could not have been in better position to make this call. It got a little loose there at the end. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it from a different angle, but what an unbelievable throw and then effort by Mellish on the back end, even though it was ruled incomplete.
You know, even if it's loose, I didn't see it hit the ground. Unless the ground causes it to get loose. If the ball ever touches green, he's right there, and there it is. Good call.
Brandeis.
That's a great call. He got it exactly right. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, 3rd and 35. Brandeis leads it 10-0. Welcome back to Dub Ferris Stadium, Northside School District. Got a great new complex here. Of course, they've always had that beautiful swim center. As we take another look, the ball did hit the ground late on the turf, and Mellish got it back, but it was a good call all the way. 3rd and 35. Mason Corbett drops deep again, got all day to throw it. Gonna run it now. Gonna show his speed. Corbett still finding his way. And even though it's going to be short of the first down, that might put his kicker in range. Joseph Mamoon, the sophomore, makes the tackle.
Well, just a heady play by Mason Corbett. I mean, he almost got all that back.
Sure did. And you know, if he goes down at about the 32, Zwerwick doesn't have a shot at a field goal. Instead, they'll spot it at about the 24 to be a 34-yarder. He has a 38-yarder on the year already here on 4th and 13.
Oh, he's got the leg. I was watching him warm up before the game.
The leg is good, and it's good. Right down the middle, Manolo Zwerwick gets 3 more for Brandeis. They lead it 13-0 here at Dub Ferris. Welcome back. Jeff Fleeter talking to his squad about 4 or 5 major penalties that backed up that Brandeis offense here. Led to a field goal. There's your play recap, your drive recap. 11 plays, 49 yards. Took almost 5 minutes, and they got the 34-yarder by Manolo Zwerwick.
It was just an unbelievable play on 3rd and forever by Mason Corbett. Coach Fleener was talking about Mason really hitting his stride in the last couple of weeks. Kind of tough early. You're getting your first start as a varsity quarterback, and you're playing all these really big teams early on in your career, but they've grown up early, and they've gotten better up front as well. That's kind of helped Mason, but he's certainly looking the part back there at quarterback. Forget the fact that he can play baseball too.
Ball's going to be taken at the 15. And we'll go down to the field. Mike Hernandez with a new sponsor of TNL.
Yes, absolutely. We want to welcome our new presenting sponsors, Protection One Security Solutions. I'm joined by the general manager. This is Mark Wiedemann. And the sales manager, this is Izzy Villalobos. Hey, guys, thank you and appreciate you supporting Thursday Night Lights. Really do, really do. So, question, why would you want to get involved in high school football, and why would you want to become a part of TNL?
Well, one of the things with Protection One is we really love taking care of our customers, providing safety and security, and part of that is our culture to give back to the community. So when we can come out to a football game like this and be a presenting sponsor, I mean, it's our pleasure to do it. We love it.
Well, we really do appreciate that. So, did you play ball in growing up?
I did, actually. My alma mater is Madison. James Madison,
cool.
Madison Maverick. Yeah, go Mavs. Yeah, so I graduated from Madison back in '99, so I played ball a little bit there. I had more of an injury background, but this brings back really good memories.
Doesn't it? I love being out on the field. It's great. So we look forward to having you as our presenting sponsor. We thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
All right, Mike, thanks. Daniel Garza has nowhere to go because Cameron Haynes, the linebacker, the senior, was there. Speaking of Cameron, he's going to be our scholar athlete tonight. Make sure you tune in at halftime for that halftime show. Great young man there.
Yeah, he really runs a delayed blitz very well, as we see.
Good tackler as well, too. 3rd and 15. Brandeis shows blitz, and they may have jumped off sides. Rolando Maldonado may have encroached.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Rolando may want to keep on doing that. That's the second time tonight. He's kind of
made him jump
up there and made him jump early. That's right.
3rd down and 20 now. As we tick down inside of 7 minutes.
See if they try to find number 11 deep.
He's in the slot. Instead, blitz comes. They blow it up, do the Brandeis Broncos. Michael Gardner got there first and sacked Garza.
Yeah, really nothing Garza could do. I mean, the second he dropped back, there was pressure in the backfield. Check it out. I mean, his eyes are downfield. He's getting ready to load, and it's already too late. Gonna have to slide some people over to make sure that that doesn't happen again. They were lucky he didn't have to take 2 on that one.
Gary Gonzalez will have to step really back on the old back of the end zone. He'll kick it away to Miles Puller, who's saying get away from it. It's Knuckler that looks like will be down inside the 30, and Brandeis will have great field position when they take over. Of course, they had all those penalties on the last drive. We'll see if they can capitalize this time as we go back down to the sidelines of Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, and it's time to talk to Riley Walker from San Antonio Sports. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Okay, so again, another week where before the game we actually got to meet some of the players that are going to be in the All-Star game. But you also have this cheer challenge. So you want to talk about that first? Tell us a little bit about how that works.
That's right. You know, we got about a week left to get your registrations in. We have over 25 schools. You can sign up online by going to sanantoniosports.org/cheer.
All right. Now, tell us about the All-Star game. And again, tonight, that was 3 from Brandeis, 1 from Marshall that have been selected to play in the game, correct?
That's right. Yeah, we got some great athletes out tonight. Rosters are going to be finalized on Monday, so be sure to get your tickets soon. Actually, tickets are out right now, so you can do that by going online to sanantoniosports.org as well.
When's the game?
The game is January 7th at the Alamo Dome, following the U.S. Army All-American Bowl. So you get
2 for 1.
2 for 1. What could be better?
Oh, nothing. Last year I had a blast. and actually got to call some plays on the sideline. I was all over. Yo, yeah, it was great.
Wow, I can't wait.
Me either. All right, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Mike. Marlon Flores runs straight ahead, ran into the back of his own lineman there as he was tackled by Jacob Calderon. And you can tell here's some of the all-stars that will be playing in that game on January the 7th. For Marshall, we got Sedbury, who's being looked at by TCU and Angelo State and others, and then Michael Brown, Miles Puller, and Ian Blake from Brandeis. Here's Flores again, maybe 2, maybe a yard and a half on second down. Connor Watts there again to make the tackle.
Things starting to get a little chippy down on the field. We got us a little football game going on now between a couple of 28-6A foes.
You gotta like Marshall's fight. They had that goal line stand. They really want to turn this program around that went 0-10 a year ago. And their coach likes their team's attitude, and they're not going down quietly tonight as Mellish has it again on the little bubble screen, and he's inside the 9-yard line. Again inside our Vantage College red zone, and that's a prompt to immediate care first down. Manuel Espinoza Jimenez on the tackle.
Yeah, that was the thing that Coach Williams talked about, Don, is that, you know, regardless of who they're playing, they're in there fighting and they're in there competing, and that's the biggest thing that he felt like he was most proud of, is that whatever they've given these kids, they've taken it, they're trying to get better, and he's really thrilled with the progress they're making week in and week out.
Mellish is on the right side. Instead, they run left, and they run for a touchdown. It's Marlon Flores for 6.
Name's so nice, we name him twice. Getting into the end zone and getting a punch. That's Brandeis' second rushing touchdown of the game. And, you know, of course, Marshall's defense has been put in some tough spots here already in this football game. Kept them out of the end zone the last 2 drives, but that's such a short field, and they've been on the field a lot in this first half. It's going to be tough to keep that up.
Nothing fancy there. Just a little sweep to the left, and Flores finishes as Zwerich adds the extra point. It's 20-0 Brandeis after they had a short field after a punt got out of bounds at about the 28-yard line.
Yeah, we talked about McGowan having to miss some time this summer after he broke his hand. Well, Flores has been banged up too, but he's also missed some time here with workouts. But, you know, this kid started as a sophomore. Both of their backs are healthy, and I think we're seeing a little of that tonight. I mean, they've got a nice 1-2 punch like the old Zonka Jim Kick thing that the Miami Dolphins had working back in the day.
Wow, a little Zonka Jim Kick reference, says the old guy that only I get the reference. But, you know, even though I was a huge Cowboy fan when they beat him in Super Bowl VI, I always loved the Dolphins just because Zonka and Kick was cool. They had Mercury Morris. They were
the all-name team.
They were a cool team.
Didn't beat him very much, that's for sure.
Bob Greasy with a weird face mask.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing that ever happened to the rest of the NFL was those guys going to that other league, taking the money.
That's right.
Busting them up.
I think Jim Kick played for the Honolulu Hawaiians of the World Football League. I don't know why I know that. It's weird.
I couldn't even remember the other leagues, so kudos to you.
San Antonio Gunslinger, no, the Wings were in that league. Here's Lambert. He's got 3 guys chasing after him, and he goes sideways. It'll be taken down inside the 10. Nice job by the special teams. Joe Morales there, defensive back. And let's go back down to Mike Hernandez.
All right, guys, I'm joined by Kevin Tabin. He's the band director for the Marshall Rams. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
We spoke a little bit this morning at the pep rally, and the band sounded great. The band sounds great now. You guys got a very nice program going there. It seems to be really solid.
It is. We're having a good time. We're very fortunate. We have great kids, great administrators that support everything we do, and it's a really close community. Being, you know, it's the oldest school in Northside, so it's a lot of alumni, and they're very supportive of the program.
I noticed this morning there was alumni up in the stands for the pep rally, and so you've been doing this, you said, for 20 years. So it's another...
Yeah.
The job satisfaction. Okay, we've got a big play going on. Let's turn. Looks like Marshall broke a big one right there. I didn't see whether it was a run or a pass, but it went for at least 30 yards. All right, they'll fill you in on that in just a second. All right, so tell us what we can expect at halftime.
Tonight we're going to do our UIL competition show and a marching show. It's entitled Glassworks, music of Philip Glass and David Gillingham, a couple of composers, and we're really just playing with the idea of anything that's related to glass. So I hope that it will be entertaining eventually.
I'm sure it will.
Yes,
Congratulations. You keep up the good
Thank you
work.
so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Go
back to the
Rams.
game.
All right, thanks, Mike. We talked about the players that are going to go to the All-Star game, and Janelle Sedberry is one of those. As a defensive back is where he's being recruited by TCU and Angelo State. At least they've shown some interest. He's one of our All-Stars, and he's in at running back now. He has 183 yards on the year, so they do use him from time to time to spare Norman Davis. And a big run as Garza fires out into the flat and threw it low, and too low for Talon Burnett to get his hands on it.
Daniel Garza doing a really nice job with his feet to kind of extend that play. You know, he started a couple of ball games late last year, kind of get his feet wet at the varsity level. Kind of a quiet kid, but like Coach Williams really loves his blood pressure and says he's a coach on the field. He's done a really nice job with these Marshall Rams as they kind of grow up this year.
3rd down and 8. A little inside trap play to Sedberry, but the defense is right there. Ian Blake, you can tell why he's a San Antonio Sports All-Star. First team All-District performer right there, was not fooled and makes a nice play.
Well, a really big play to at least tilt the field position a little bit. We'll see if the Marshall Rams can pin them back deep with the punt, but making incremental strides here in this football game. Just haven't had a whole lot to show for it in terms of putting points on the board to this point.
All right, so Gutierrez will kick to Miles Puller, who again is one of our All-Stars as a punt returner. He warns everybody to get away from it, and it'll check up there at the 33. And Brandeis will take over there as we take a look at our TNL top 10 this week. Steele still number 1. Steele, Clemens, and Judson have all basically stayed in the top 3 all season long. Then you got Heights, Reagan, O'Connor, Johnson, Smiths and Valleys at 9 this week, and Brandeis in the top 10 at number 10.
Yeah, Heights and Clemens playing this weekend. Of course, Alamo Heights still undefeated. Brandeis had them on the ropes. Kind of wore down, the coaches were telling me, in the second half of that game, but man, we've got some really fine football teams in this town again this year.
Have not had a chance to see Steele in person. We had Judson earlier and really thought this is the year that Judson might give Steele a run, but Steele handled him pretty well. And Gowan goes up the middle. Joseph Mahmood on the tackle.
Ryan McGowan on the carry, stopped by Joseph Mahmood.
All right, McGowan doing a really nice job running between the tackles. Also doing a nice job outside too. And as I said, Don, I mean, you know, he's a good little baseball player too. He's an outfielder and can hit. Obviously can run like a cheetah as well.
Going deep for Mellish. That ball is picked off. Ezra Powell to the 45 and near the 50. Ezreal Powell with a nice job of tracking that down, and we've got an injured Marshall Ram at about the 39-yard line.
Now Corbett going deep, trying to find his man. Just a great play by number 20 to cut off that route, get himself into position to make this play.
American League Championship
It's a
Series.
tad bit overthrown, but a really nice play to not only make the catch, but nifty return as well.
Nice job. Very nice job of tracking that one down. Saw it all the way in and gives Marshall some new life here with $1:15 left in the first half.
And Marshall's young in some spots too. Powell's just a junior, I should say, and you got to be happy with that play. I mean, this defense has done a nice job. They've been putting some tough spots tonight in terms of field position, but holding them to a field goal a couple of times and then coming up with a turnover.
Coming up on the Cerritos halftime show, you'll hear from the Brandeis Band, the Marshall Band, and we will also preview and focus on our Scholar Athlete of the Week, which is Cameron Hayes of Brandeis, thanks to Vulcan Materials Company. Taking a good long look at Marshall's Jacob Calderon, who's still down as they tend to him. Couldn't quite see what happened at the end of that run.
I couldn't either. He was trying to come off the field under his own power, and it just wasn't working, so he went down, but I hope he's okay. It's some sort of lower leg injury.
You see the concern on the faces of the Marshall faithful. While they tend to him, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back with Brandeis leading Marshall 20-0.
Materials Company. You see our trucks on roads all over San Antonio and the surrounding area. But what do we do? Well, our story began over 100 years ago, and today we are the nation's largest producer of aggregates. That's stone, sand, and gravel. Plus, we produce construction-based materials including asphalt and ready-mixed concrete, the stuff to build the roads you travel, the schools your kids attend, and the homes you live in. Everywhere you look, you will see our footprint. Our story is one built on the talent, dedication, and performance of our employees. Hardworking San Antonians just like you. Our mission is to be responsible stewards with respect to the safety and environmental impact of our operations and products. In other words, we want to be your good neighbor, doing the right thing, the right way, all the time. The Vulcan way. Who are we? We're the ones helping to build a rock-solid future in San Antonio. Vulcan Materials Company, proud sponsor of Thursday Night Lights and Scholar Athletes.
Welcome back. You see the concern on the faces of the Marshall fans. They've brought out the cart to take the young man off the field. Jacob Calderon, the linebacker, is senior. As Chuck said, looked like some sort of lower leg injury. They've stabilized it with a brace.
Yeah, Don, I mean, he was already playing with a knee injury, and you know, Coach was talking to me earlier this week about this is the kind of kid they have at this school. I mean, they could not get this kid off the field. He's been bummed by this knee for a long time. I hope it's not his knee. You know, it looks like they're trying to stabilize the leg there, but obviously this is one tough young man. And I mean, you know, Coach Williams singled him out, talked about how he's played through pain, and you know, just some of the lessons you can learn from just watching a kid just go about his business, and Jacob Calderon was one of them. So, you know, we wish him all the best, and we hope he's doing okay. But, you know, talk about some of these kids. I mean, we're at the point of the season, too. There are a lot of kids banged up. Marshall's had their injuries. Brandeis has had some major injuries as well. It's the nature of the sport, but we've got a lot of tough kids on this football field.
Marshall, Garza ran a nice little play there, faked it, but kept it. Gardner was there to tackle him. Looked like he was going to hand it to Davis on a little zone read, kept it himself, and it didn't go anywhere because Brandeis's defense did a nice job of holding him there as we tick inside 1 minute to play.
Yeah, I got to pick up the pace a little bit here. We're running it down here in the first half.
Garza on a straight drops, got time this time, fires, and it's nearly caught and then nearly intercepted. Jason Vasquez juggled it, and it went right to Miles Puller, and he had a pick six if he could have held on.
Really good job by Garza, because I honestly believe this was going to be a screen, but Brandeis really sniffed it out. So he had to then go through his progressions and see if he could find somebody downfield. He had a guy that was flying free deep, but you know, heck, when you know that first play is supposed to be some sort of screen, and then you got to check out of it sort of on the fly and try to find somebody else. That was a really good job recognizing that.
42 seconds left. More importantly, 3rd and 12. As Garza flings, and well covered that time, maybe too well covered, was Carlos Coppins. Parker Pruitt was all over him, the first team all-district free safety.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one again.
No flag, but good coverage. Juan Lucero. is going to punt this time, in for Gary Gonzalez, who had a couple of rough ones. That one was tipped and will go out of bounds just past the 42 with 27 seconds to go. Michael Rodriguez maybe got a hand on it, and Marshall's having a tough time with their kicking game tonight. Hey, stay tuned after the game tonight. We have the iHeartRadio Music Festival from Las Vegas. That's coming up tonight following Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights, so keep it right here on the CW35.
Yeah, I get to hear some of my favorite bands on iHeartRadio.
I know you're a big Lady Gaga fan.
Dude, all I know is there's
Bieber.
number 64 for Marshall, Robert Trujillo. The bass player for Metallica is a lineman for Marshall.
Little bubble screen to Mellish, broken up, good defense by the Marshall Rams as Andrew Garza was there.
He sure was. Ezra Powell going through there and busting that play up too. Brandeis being awfully aggressive here with 21 seconds left to go in the first half. It tells you the confidence that they have in Mason Corbett running this thing. They know, okay, we'll see if we can make something happen here, but if not, just make sure you don't turn the ball over.
2nd down and 10. McGowan met right there by the linebacking core. Joseph Mamoon. Keegan Herndon.
These guys are finishing tackles, aren't they? I think they're going to be content to let it run out, Don.
That's going to do it. We tick towards zeros, and Brandeis in total control of this ball game in the first half. They lead the Marshall Rams 20-0 here at Dub Ferris Stadium. Make sure you don't go anywhere. The Cerritos halftime show is next, and we will feature the Brandeis Band, the Marshall Band, and we'll have our Scholar Athletes of the Week. So keep it right here on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. But first, we're going to go down. We're not going to go down to Mike Hernandez with the coach. There he is. Mike.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm joined by Coach Williams here. Now, Coach, it looked like you guys were moving the ball up and down the middle of the field, just couldn't kind of sustain things.
Man, that's been us. You know, we've got to execute, and we've got to execute more down towards the red zone. We just get little stuff that shoots us in the foot.
Offensively, how are you going to stop their offense?
Well, I think we've been doing a good job. I mean, we put them in a bad spot there on the last to give them that, last touchdown. Otherwise, it'd be, 13-0. And I think if you hold that offense to 13 points and a half, gosh dang, we did pretty good.
All right, well, good luck in the second half.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, presenting.
Thanks, Mike. When we come back, we'll have the Brandeis Band on Thursday Night Lights on the CW35.
Welcome to the Cerritos Mexican Restaurant Halftime Show.
All right, and we're going to get right to that halftime show in just a second. Want to get you all the info you need from our CW35 insider, Caitlin Munoz. Got a lot of things going on, so let you go ahead and take it away. Take a breath.
Okay, tomorrow there's a free event, Party on the Plaza at the Tobin Center to watch the iHeart Music Festival free. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your beach towels, 6:30 to 9. And then if you want to go to the Notre Dame against the Army game, it's texting, you got to text Shamrock to 45203. And last but not least, we finally have the details for Comic-Con. It's at the end of the month. You can't text that one yet. You can next week, but they're going to win 4 3-day passes to Comic-Con. Wow. Lanyards, t-shirts, the whole enchilada.
Okay, so there's a lot of information you passed out as far as numbers. Can they get that
on the
from
CW, on the CW website, on the CW Facebook? We're always posting.
Okay,
yeah.
Caitlin, thank you so much.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
it. All right, now please enjoy the Brandeis Broncos band and enjoy your halftime show.
The band presents their 2016 Royal Competition Show entitled Love Letters. Giving music from Hector Brandeis' Symphony Fantastique and Claude Debussy's Claire de Lune. Listen for soloist, bassoonist Claire Hansen, clarinetist Juan Quintu, and flutist Antonio Justin.
Hey, if you'd like to vote for the Brandeis Bronco Band for our North Carolina Furniture Direct in San Marcos Band Grant, just text Band 13 to 45203. For Brandeis, that's Band 13, no spaces, to 45203. And for complete texting guidelines, just go to the CW35.com.
Welcome to the Cerritos Mexican Restaurant Halftime Show.
We're back at Dub Ferris Stadium where Brandeis leads Marshall 20-0 at the half. Welcome to the Cerritos Halftime Show. Right now, it's time for our Scholar Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Vulcan Materials Company.
This week's Scholar Athletes of the Week represent Marshall and Brandeis High School. First, meet Tatiera Johnson. Now, Tatiera has been on the Marshall varsity volleyball team for 3 years, and she's also been the captain all 3 years.
I've been playing volleyball since second grade, and ever since then I just fell in love with it, and I just stuck to it. Never played any other sport. I tried track, but that didn't work out very well, but I just stuck with volleyball.
She's carrying an incredible 99.4 GPA, top 2% of her class. And that's with all that volleyball requires from her, along with a host of other activities she's involved in, like being the 2017 class treasurer, the National Honor Society, the Science Honor Society, and the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, just to name a few. So how does she ever keep up with all that?
I have a planner, so I have to write down everything, and so I keep up with when everything's due, when I have to turn it in, what homework I have that night, just so I don't forget about it and then forget to turn something in, and then points get taken off, and then that just takes away from my GPA.
Now, Tatiera has already received a full scholarship to Prairie View A&M to play volleyball next fall, but she's got her sights set higher than just playing volleyball.
I want to major in kinesiology, so then I'll be on the path to I want to be a rehab medicine doctor.
Cameron Haynes is a senior at Brandeis, and he's a two-sport athlete, track and football. But it's football he chose to talk about.
I've been in football since I could remember. I just really enjoy the sport. I enjoy, the effort part of it. You don't have to be the biggest or strongest person, but if you're out there and you give it your all, then you'll do well, I think.
And he is a hard worker, on the field and in the classroom. He's got a 97.23 GPA and is a member of the National Honor Society, and he's also on the Brandeis choir team as a baritone. But the one thing that most impressed me about him was his commitment to helping others.
Well, with my youth group a couple times, we've gone down in the inner city and just painted a lot of graffiti and painted over a lot of graffiti and kind of just try to take care of the city and make it look nice.
And not helping out just here.
I've gone to Guatemala as well and done some work at an orphanage, and that was probably one of my favorite experiences, just going out and helping others. It taught me a lot, I think, and I got a lot of lessons from that.
Two incredible young students and this week's Vulcan Materials Company Scholar Athletes of the Week.
Welcome to the Cerritos Mexican Restaurant Halftime Show.
Not only do the Marshall band parents have to dance, they have to do it on TV. As we go back down to the field for the Marshall Ram High School band.
and enjoy the mighty Brandeis.
Nice job by the Marshall High School Band. If you would like to vote for them for our band grant, the $2,500 from North Carolina Furniture Direct in San Marcos, text band 14 to 45203. That's band 14 with no spaces to 45203. One of the bands that performs on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights all season long will win this $2,500 band grant. It's up to you. The voting is open. Just do the texting for your favorite band.
Thanks for watching the Cerritos Mexican Restaurant Halftime Show. Stay tuned for the second half kickoff.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Brandeis over Marshall 20-0 as we get ready to start the third quarter. The two teams coming back on the field. Marshall's on the sidelines. Brandeis making their way back. Brandeis made their way to the scoreboard first as Ryan McGowan's 31-yard touchdown made it 7-0 and that put Brandeis up for good. Marshall's defense did bow up and had a nice goal line stand. That led to a 19-yard field goal by Manolo Zerwick, and it was 10-0 Brandeis in the first quarter. Had some missed opportunities for both teams in the second quarter. We thought Sean Mellish might have caught that for a touchdown, but the ref made the right call. The ball did hit the ground, and that set up a 34-yarder from Manolo Zerwick, his second longest of the year. Brandeis led 13-0 at that point, and then Marlon Flores went in from 4 yards out to make it 20-0, and that's where we stand. And Chuck, if you look at the first half, it's 20-0 on the board, and it's total domination also on the stat sheet, especially when it comes to total yardage.
Well, you know, Brandeis has got the hosses, and Marshall does too, but they're really young in some spots. And, you know, it's great, though, to see from the Marshall Rams, Don, you know, year in and year out, what Tim Williams is building. This is really his first crew that, you know, have kind of had him all the way through. And, you know, we've really seen marked improvement with this program year in and year out under him. And then you look at the other side with Coach Fleener, of course, coming from a big program in Allen where he was a coordinator, longtime San Antonio kid. We talked about the fact that, you know, he was a coach's kid, he was a quarterback, you know, one of the bright offensive minds that we have in the city. And, you know, Brandeis is obviously in good shape with him running the program. So, you know, this is going to be one of those teams as we go on. They're well coached, they've got size, they've got speed, and they certainly have some talented guys that can make some plays for them. It's a matter of just letting their offense grow up, and they have during the course of the year. Their defense has been solid from the start.
Well, Marshall will get it first here in the second half. Stanley Lambert back to receive the kick off the foot of Manolo Zerwick. They're kicking it away from him. Instead, it will be taken at the 20 by Talon Burnett, and he gets it across the 25 to about the 27-yard line, and that's where Daniel Garza will have it first for the Marshall offense.
Yeah, I got a big start here to the third quarter. Got to make something happen. You know, it's been tough. They've moved the ball at times, but you know, a play here or a play there, and maybe the score isn't 20-0, and they get some points on the board. So, got to be a little bit more attentive to detail in this third quarter to see if they can get back in.
Garza is joined by Norman Davis in the backfield as Brandeis shows blitz. They're coming, and he keeps, does Garza. He gets the first down, and nice fake as everybody bit on that one. Miles Puller makes the tackle, but not before Norman Davis scampers for about 12.
Well, they gambled and they went after the running back and took a whiff right there. That was a really nice play by Garza, obviously holding that ball to the last possible second and throwing off the defense.
It's a Braceland first down for the Marshall Rams as Norman Davis chugs forward for about 8 as we go down to Mike Hernandez, who got to talk to Jeff Fleener as he came off the sidelines. Mike?
Yeah, I did. And he said overall that he just told the kids to stay within themselves. They were a little frustrated with the penalties. It kind of stopped some of their drives, and they're never happy unless they're getting it in the end zone. To play with a little bit more emotion. He said defensively, other than 2 plays, he was very happy with the way the defense was playing. He did say that Marshall had used some defensive formations that had not shown up in tape, so they had to do some adjusting to that. But other than that, they were very happy. Coach was very happy with what they were doing so far.
Marshall's got to be happy right now as they move the chains. Carlos Coppins on that last catch. Garza keeps again. If it worked once, will it work again? This time, the Brandeis defense sniffs it out. Cameron Haynes, our scholar athlete, there to make the tackle along with Ryan Martinez.
Just glad to see Garza get up. But got pinned by a couple of different guys going in different directions. Dangerous running the football against these Brandeis Broncos and their front 7.
He's got Lambert soloed up at the bottom of the screen if he wants him. Instead, he hands off to Sedberry, who's got speed. Sedberry across the 25 down near the 20-yard line before Miles Puller brings him down.
You know, you never have a big run like that with a lot of help up front, but man, what a nice play. Got into the second line of defense there and then really got a key block from Carlos Coppins, his wide receiver there on the outside to help him get about 10 more.
A 26-yard gain. This is Marshall's first penetration. hands to Davis. First time the Rams have been across the 50-yard line tonight.
Davis is having one heck of a year, Don. 5.7 yards per carry, over 100 yards per game. And, you know, we've seen the speed, but Coach Williams tells us, man, he's a physical runner, too. He loves the contact, but he can avoid it. We've seen a little bit of that tonight, but he's a special young man, and he's certainly one of those guys that he could pop one at any minute.
Inside the Vantage College red zone as he play fakes. No, he hands to Davis. Davis to the 5. Davis, touchdown, Marshall Rams.
Well, right on cue. Coach Williams told us, Don, and I don't think he was fibbing when he said, I will tell anybody that will listen, this is one of the best running backs in the entire state. Now, obviously, because you know, Marshall's trying to figure some things out and get the program going in the right direction, and we've already talked about the strides that they've made doing that. That this young man is really something special.
Well, a little swinging gate conversion attempt to him did not work. That makes it 20-6. And the Rams are on the board. You're watching Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights on the CW35. Number 7, Norman Davis with his 7th touchdown of the year. Caps off a 7-play, 73-yard drive. And Chuck, coming into the game, he had 825 yards. And as you said, undersold, underrated. And we saw firsthand right now that he's the real deal.
You know, Coach Williams talked about this kid a lot this week. He said, you know, there is nobody on the planet that I trust more than this young man running the football. He goes, everybody knows he's getting the football, and yet week in and week out, he gets his. There's nobody I trust more on a 4th and 2 carry, knowing that we need to get the first down, that he's going to come up with it. And, you know, as we watch this ball kind of bounce around back here for Brandeis, and Marshall doing a really good job covering it, you know, he said, man, I talked to the kid this week, and he really wants to play college football. He said he loves the game so much, and you know, we hope as the season goes along that some of these college coaches are going to take a look at this young man, because, you know, Don, we've gotten a chance to do some college football games this year, and I know every coach that we've come in contact with, when they're out recruiting, some of the first things they ask a young man, maybe right up off the top, is how much do you personally love the game? And this is one of those guys right there. Loves the game, loves everything that it entails, and he's got some ability. Yes, he's only 5'9", but that's somebody that's looking at the glass half empty. This kid's a football player, and I would expect by the year end, there's going to be a lot of people knocking on his door to go play some football somewhere.
Marlon Flores takes the handoff, and Joseph Mahmoud right there to stop him. Yeah, whether it's Texas Lutheran or Trinity, or you never know, wherever. If you want to play bad enough, you could find a place to play with as much talent as he has.
Yeah, and I mean, most running backs, really, even at the college level, they're not 6 feet tall. You know, they're a little undersized in terms of height. This kid's got the heart, the desire. More than that, he's got the talent, and you add it all up, you know, he's going to be able to play somewhere, I would bet.
All right, Corbett with a drop. Nice patience. Going to have a flag back there as his offensive lineman was tangled up with a pass rusher. Dylan Poore pushes him out, but the head referee threw the flag, and it was right at the feet of the lineman blocking for him.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 2nd down.
I don't know what Coach Williams said at the half, but we see a different Marshall Rams football team to begin this 3rd quarter. I mean, you get the ball, you go right down the field, you take the goose egg off the board, you get yourself to a 2-score game, and then your defense comes out, makes some really solid plays early, add the penalty, and now Brandeis is backed up looking for a play to try to swing this momentum back towards their side of the ball.
I'll tell you what, I really like Tim Williams' attitude. You know, this is a team that went 0-10 a year ago, but you see a lot of fight from his guys and a lot of positivity. As McGowan takes the sweep, tries to get the corner, does. He's pushed out around the spot of the chains. Dylan Espinoza there to bring him down.
Yeah, and, looking at Marshall on that particular play, I thought they did a really nice job holding up the left side over there. McGowan just flat beat everybody to the edge and was able to turn that upfield and make something out of nothing.
Get some of it back, but still 3rd and 19 now. And unless they convert here, Marshall's going to have good field position if they have to punt it away.
Look out for Mellish.
He's looking that way. Fires deep. This one might be picked. It almost is, but dropped there. But that's as good as a punt. Manuel Espinoza Jimenez had his sights set on that one. So
for Ryan Light downfield, but the coverage was just very, very good for Marshall.
They knew what was coming, and they'll get it back here as Brandeis will punt it away. And Dylan Poor will be back to receive it right at about midfield. And so, barring something crazy here, Marshall will have 2 possessions in a row on Brandeis' side of the field after not having been there all night long. Fake. And I said, barring something crazy happens. Leip's still running. Look out. Sean Mellish gonna score. Touchdown, Brandeis. There's a flag down on the far sidelines, and the Marshall coaches are saying it's coming back. Jeff Fleener is arguing. And you get arguments from different sidelines. The Marshall coaches said, we saw it. It's coming back. Jeff Fleener saying you're crazy.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It remains 4th down.
So they got that one early in that play, but what an amazing play design. And
I want to see that again because I missed it the first time.
Well, Fleener just letting one of his athletes make a play.
Sean Mellish lined up at punter. You see his athleticism.
See a lot of Broncos throwing really clean blocks, but obviously the ref saw something somewhere. This one's coming back.
That hurt you a couple different ways because that's one of those ones you only get to use once or twice a season because they stay on film. He's going to try it again.
Oh, he got it.
That's just trust in a kid by the name of Sean Mellish.
Didn't take it to the house, but he got some fresh downs.
How about that poker face? Nobody in the world would think you'd try a fake punt twice in the same game, much less maybe even the same district season, much less 2 plays in a row.
Well, you got to give Coach Fleener all the credit in the world. I mean, he saw what we saw with the momentum swinging, and my goodness, went and got it right back.
Wow. Mason Corbett rolling out to his right. He's got the corner. He might have another first down there right at the stick. Ezreal Powell pushed him out.
Boy, that just takes the wind out of the sails of Marshall. I mean, they give up the run there by Corbett. You got to focus in and see if he can't get a stop.
Another handoff to McGowan. On that second one, Chuck, that's trust in Sean Mellish because he could have kicked that at any time if he's waiting to see if it develops. And then once he saw the hole, he took off. But he could have kicked it a number of different times there early in that play. 3 wides left. Corbett on the run again. It's worked for him for 5 or 6 a pop, so why not? Until they stop it.
Just force you to defend the entire field. Not a lot of flashy stuff going on here to the 3rd quarter for the Brandeis Broncos, but extremely effective.
9th play of this drive. Corbett fires, it's caught. Nice job by the Marshall secondary. It's Mellish again for another first down. Dylan Poor, another tackle.
Having himself a really nice ball game. Catching the ball and running the football.
Remember we had him last year and he really stood out as that's a Braceland first down. There's Flores with it. He's got room. He's got the outside. Marlon Flores still on his feet inside the 20 before Dylan Smith gets him. I love the way this kid runs. Deceptively fast, and his lateral ability to move sideways and avoid tackles is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, just has his shoulders square, and then effective use of the stiff arm got him a few more.
First down and 10. Corbett keeps. Corbett to the outside. Corbett, touchdown, Brandeis. Mason Corbett, the senior, with his third rushing touchdown of the season.
Mason Corbett, you know, they were running everything towards the right side there. Then they decide to go left, and just lots of points. You know, you can talk about being the coach's son and, you know, what a great baseball player he is. But, you know, Fleener also was a coach's son, and he said, you know, what I like about Mason, too, is that he really has the big-time baseball persona that works well for him. I mean, we talked about him being a 4-year starter for the Broncos baseball team, but, you know, that shows up. Now he's a senior, and yeah, this is the first chance he's got a chance to lead this offense playing the quarterback position, but you can tell how much just playing varsity sports has helped this young man, even on the football field.
It's all Brandeis here at Dove Ferris. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Brandeis over Marshall, 27-6 after an 11-play, 80-yard drive that included 2 fake punts. It all ends with the Mason Corbett touchdown scramble. I'd like to thank Monarch Trophy Studio. After the game, we'll be handing out the hardware to our winning team and the player of the game. If you need trophies or plaques for any reason, turn to the folks at Monarch Trophy at 344-3777. Monarch Trophy, great for trophies, plaques, or custom engraving.
Mason Corbett, the Texas A&M baseball commit, looks the part on the football field too.
Kick sails over the head of the Marshall Rams through the back of the end zone, so they'll have it 1st and 10. What position does he play in baseball, Chuck?
He's a shortstop. You know, what's interesting about his story, Don, is that as a freshman, he was slated to probably be the backup shortstop. Well, they had an injury to the incumbent shortstop, and so Mason got thrown in as a freshman. And the thing that impressed me watching him his freshman year was he just didn't give at-bats away. He always looked like he belonged on the baseball field, even at the varsity level, even as a 14-year-old kid. I mean, he's a left-handed hitter. He'd grind out at bats, a lot of oppo hits the other way his first year, but hey, he hit over 300 his freshman year. Just always looked the part on the baseball diamond, and I think, just, wow, got a turnover.
Ball came out. Brandeis jumped on it. Evan Perez and Michael Gardner teamed up right at the front and took it away from Daniel Garza. A little confusion as Garza was running the zone read with Norman Davis, and we've seen that happen a lot this year with quarterbacks and running backs on that zone read. You don't know if you're taking it or letting it go, and he let it go, and Michael Gardner was there to fall on it. And the Brandeis Broncos up 27-6. Looking to add more points after just one snap.
Yeah, you mentioned Evan Perez. He's another baseball player for the Brandeis Broncos. He's a good one, too.
Fake.
And there's another baseball player.
Again, Ryan McGowan to the outside. Touchdown, Brandeis. And what a turn of momentum. 3 plays from scrimmage, 2 Brandeis touchdowns after a drive which had 2 fake punts. This game was right there with Marshall looking like they were going to get it back on a punt, and it changed quickly. 15 carries, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Ryan McGowan. 7 TDs on the year. Running the football, 9 total. And Brandeis running away with it, 34-6.
Closed captioning of tonight's game is brought to you by Rodriguez Butcher Supply.
Welcome back. Brandeis over Marshall 34-6. The Broncos scoring 14 points in 19 seconds. That play was all of an 11-second drive. One play, 22 yards.
What's interesting about McGowan's prowess at running back, we talked about, we've seen some spot duty at wide receiver and DB, but, this is Coach Fleener's second year with the program, and he was asking around, and everybody that would come in contact with him would tell him, hey, you may want to try Ryan McGowan at running back. And Ryan's really hit the weights, and his dad's a big weightlifter too. And I'll tell you what, it's like Coach Fleener said, if I look like that kid, I would walk around with my shirt off all the time. And he can run too, as we said. He's probably the fastest guy on the team. No, I don't, man.
Just
I got
in the
a
sports
bird
department. We're always telling you to put it back on.
But Ryan has blown up. I mean, he looks like a running back, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Janiles acting like one too.
Janiles Sedberry in the backfield as the fullback went forward before the snap. That's going to be a false start.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
And the interesting thing about McGowan too is, he is a super threat out of the backfield as well, catching the ball. I mean, he's an outfielder on the baseball team. Will probably move from right field to center field this year. And, he's just a weapon to have with that speed and the fact that he can take on some tackles too.
Garza to Sedberry, tries to sidestep the tacklers, but the whole Bronco defensive front was there. Rolando Maldonado also got in there along with Michael Gardner.
Maldonado's had himself a night too. That was a super play to kind of submarine through there and break it up before it got going. A chance to talk to Rolando on camera this week. Tell us about his squad.
Wind has come out of their sails a little bit here at the end of the third quarter as Garza fires. It's caught short of the first down, but a nice grab by Talon Burnett. Michael Nelson there on the stop.
Yeah, Parker Pruitt as well, doing a good job, just kind of sitting down and let that thing stay in front of him and forcing Marshall into a 3rd and long situation.
3rd and about 7. Rams really need this one just as a momentum booster as they send 3 wide to the left-hand side. Sedberry's back there. They show blitz. Maldonado comes. Garza steps up, and he's not going anywhere. Great job by Maldonado. Michael Gardner. Hat comes off at the end of that one for Garza. Joshua Guerra was also there, and that play just broke down too quickly, and the Rams will punt it away.
Yeah, nice job really giving Garza no place to go with that. Getting pressure up the middle and from the outside. And take a look. Look at the left edge. Just everybody staying at home, and that was really a super play. Our number 47 on that one for sure.
Again, another short punt. This one, though, takes a good hop for Marshall. Out of bounds between the 45 and 50. And Brandeis, it appears, would be staying undefeated here in district play, going to 2-0. And let's take a look at what's coming up for the Broncos ahead. After tonight, they got Brennan, and that will be a tough one, as will Holmes. Holmes is much improved from a talent perspective, but Brennan would be the tougher challenge there for a district championship on the line. Both these teams play high-quality competition in the preseason, and it pays off. Flores takes the handoff and goes forward for about 5. When you look at the the Brandeis season schedule, they played Johnson close in week 1, losing 23-13. Heights is a game they think they should have won. And then since then, they've run off 3 straight wins against champion Madison and Taft. Dominating performance in the last 2 over Madison 30-7 and over Taft 52-17. So this is a team that's improving and fully expects to win a district championship. Marlon Flores gets down to the 30-yard line. But the Brendan Bears may have something to say about that. And there's some good teams, as always, in 28-6A.
Oh, you better believe it. And, you know, it's interesting talking to Coach Fleener. He said, you know, we're bringing back 3 starters from a year ago, so we had a lot of guys that needed game experience. But you're right, those tough early games really set up. Look at this.
Look at McGowan. He's jogging for a touchdown. Ryan McGowan making it look so easy. Said that in the first half, that he looks like he's jogging and he's running faster than everybody else. And that was another one where he just hit the hole, and it's just a comfortable looking run for him.
Yeah, I don't think he's running full speed. I mean, he's being patient right there. But, I mean, yeah, once he hits that crease, it's like, you know, he's got good enough vision where it's like, I don't have to be Carl Lewis right here. I can go 3/4 speed. I mean, I don't think he's turned it loose yet.
He's putting up some incredible numbers here tonight as Zwerich adds another PAT. And Ryan McGowan now well over 100 yards, 16 carries for 147 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Boy, look at those big beasties up front, though, clearing the way. Got to give the offensive line a lot of credit tonight for the Brandeis Broncos. I mean, they're getting a lot of yards per carry from each of their backs this evening, and Corbett as well.
There's a University of the Incarnate Word smile cam. A lot to smile about for the Brandeis Spirit groups. The Broncos leading at 41-6 with 3 minutes left here in the third quarter. And Ryan McGowan got it started, and he's still running with the same just easy stroll into the end zone.
Got to be the headband. Got to be. It's not a bad night for this young man, that's for sure. He's just so easygoing and, you know, just kind of quiet.
7 touchdowns coming in, 3 more tonight. Having a heck of a year.
That's right, and really letting his play do all the talking.
Stanley Lambert's going to let this one go over his head again and right out the corner. And was really looking forward to seeing what Stanley Lambert could do for the Marshall offense. They have not targeted him much through the air. We saw a little bit of his explosiveness on a kick return real early, but that's been about it. The Bronco defense has been really solid tonight. Showed you what's coming up for Brandeis. Here's what's coming ahead for the Marshall Rams. After tonight, they've got Taft. They too have Brennan. And of course, that last week of the season's that play-in game if they're so lucky. 0-1 in district play. They're going to be 0-2 after tonight. Davis still fighting and almost broke that one. Brent Malone there on the tackle. We've already seen Davis break free for Marshall's only score of the night. And if Garza wants him, he's got Lambert on a rare one-on-one coverage here on the bottom of the screen. Instead, he hands to Davis. We've seen a lot of second teamers in there for the Brandeis defense. Ian Blake, the star, is still in there. Marshall also going with some backups. Juan Lucero's in at quarterback. Number 12 for the injured Daniel Garza, who was getting attended to. Remember, his helmet came off on that last series, and he's being looked at. He's got ice on his face on the Marshall bench. Talon Burnett takes the ball, goes left, but I don't know if when his helmet popped off, if he got caught in the nose or the lip or the tooth or something, but he's got an ice pack right in the middle of his mouth as Lucero's now taking over the quarterbacking duties. Rams will go 3 and out, and they'll punt it away.
Yeah, it's tough. We talked about these teams. Both of them have been hit by the injury bug, and quite frankly, you know, a lot of these programs are having to deal with this. And you know, when you're Marshall and you're trying to deal with backups, and you're still trying to institute everything that you want, even with your veteran players, I mean, it makes it awfully tough.
Connor Hagee told everybody to get away from that one. It bounces dead right at the 40. And I would think from here on out we'd see a lot of second teamers for both squads as the trainers continue to take a look at Garza. No fun when that helmet comes off and you get kicked in the mouth or something. 41-6 our score, a minute left here in the third. Kyle Fitzgerald's new quarterback for Brandeis, and Marlon Flores is in the backfield. He fires on first down to Gabriel Sanchez, who's in there. Manuel Espinoza Jimenez also in there making the tackle. Sanchez is a senior, plays behind Sean Mellish, and so it's good playing time for him and pays off with a catch. Fitzgerald's a junior. He's their quarterback, you would assume, next year. Flores breaks another tackle going to his left and fights for every yard inside the 40. Dylan Poor there to push him out of bounds.
Yeah, and Coach Fleener was talking about, you know, at the start of the spring, that this quarterback competition was pretty even between Fitzgerald and Corbett, and that they both really pushed each other. But this is a young man they really think a lot of, and honestly, you know, that's one of those things with Coach Fleener. He says he knows that Corbett knows that Fitzgerald's knocking at the door, and so he's got to get better week in and week out.
Look at the shifty Flores. I tell you, this guy, he is so shifty. I really like the way he runs the football as Ezreal Powell makes the tackle.
Yeah, again, just really good offensive line play from their seniors over on the right side. Lisham and Feichtinger just clearing the way out there. We already talked about Michael Brown going to the All-Star game.
Fire into the right-hand side is Fitzgerald, incomplete. Chuck, remember that warm-up we all had to do growing up, the karaoke, when you're karaoke, crossover run when you're running sideways and foot runs in front, then in back, then in front, then in back? No?
I didn't know that that was the name of it.
Yeah. No? Yeah. I think if we had a karaoke contest, that Flores would win. Nobody's better sideways than that guy.
Well, you would win because I didn't know that that was the name of it. Just do that thing with your feet.
Here's McGowan. McGowan to the 10. He wants to make somebody pay at the end of it and does right at the 2.
Have yourself a night, Ryan McGowan.
Ryan McGowan dominating the football game. Ezreal Powell coming in to make the tackle.
And we talked about the right side of the line. Well, now they're going to go on the left side of the line. Moomaw, Brown, Draker. You know, again, yards per carry in this game is off the charts for Brandeis right now, and those big guys deserve a lot of credit.
Here's Flores looking for the end zone. Trying for the cone. Got it. Touchdown, Brandeis. Marlon Flores. Scorus.
Indeed.
And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Zwerek will come on to kick the PAT. Try to make it 48-6. And this is one of those games that the Marshall Rams will look back at and said, you know, it was not that lopsided. We were in that football game. The wheels just came off for them here. It's all Brandeis Broncos looking to go 2-0 in district play here at Dub Ferris Stadium on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights on the CW35. And we're back. Brandeis leads Marshall 48-6 here as we get ready to start the fourth quarter at Dub Ferris Stadium. This was a pretty close football game throughout, and Marshall continued to fight down 20-6. Looked like they were going to get the ball back after a punt, and there was a couple of fake punts. Both worked for Sean Mellish. And then Ryan McGowan kind of put things away along with Marlon Flores, and all of a sudden you look up and it's 48-6.
Yeah, I mean, Mellish has really had a nice game, and, you know, we can talk about that young man all day. I mean, he could start in the secondary if need be. I mean, we got him, as you see, punt position. He could return kicks if he had to. He's also a huge decoy, Don, just being on the field, which opens up stuff for other guys because everybody in town knows they got to stop that guy when he's on the football field.
Marshall's finally going to get a chance to return one. Dylan Poore does across the 20 to the 22-yard line. And we'll have to keep track of a lot of second and third teamers now as we look at our total stats. 470 total yards. And the first down just shows you how this team has dominated the Marshall Rams tonight. 23 first downs to 6. Ball control. And they've had a few first downs on one drive where it looked like they were going to have to punt. They didn't twice in a row.
Yeah, the game comes a little easy when you can run the ball as effectively as they've done tonight.
Juan Lucero, the junior quarterback, in. Brandeis jumps, and I don't know if it's a false start or an encroachment, but it's a penalty.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
McGowan now up to 17 carries for 169 yards and 3 touchdowns. Flores, 17 carries, 112 yards and 2 touchdowns. Marshall wants to go deep. We're looking for Lambert. That's just overthrown by everybody. First time tonight that they've really singled up the highly touted Stanley Lambert. He had single coverage. They ran him deep on a post. Johnny Rueda was there though with good coverage, and the junior quarterback Juan Lucero just overthrew everybody.
Yeah, you know, really getting some snaps tonight out here at the wide receiver position, and he's really starting to come into his own. And look at the UT's Under the Lights clinic. Got on their radar, so not just us talking about him. There's some other schools that are really starting to take a look at this guy because of his size and his speed. Baylor was all in looking at him too before Coach Briles was let go. But I mean, you just see raw talent, and slowly but surely he's growing into that position. Got in the weight room. They talked about how hard he's been working to bulk up. It's a good-looking young player. Can't wait to see how he develops over the course of the next year or so.
Good basketball, too, player. He was on Marshall's first team to make the playoffs since '96. 48-6 Brandeis. Welcome back. Brandeis over Marshall, 48-6. Gives us time to tell you about the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge, powered by CPS Energy. Submit a photo of your school's cheer team. Tell us why they're the best. The 2 top vote getters win $1,000 and a $500 grant. Top 4 squads get a chance to go to the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by HEB and cheer also at the Army All-American Bowl. As Marshall fires over the middle, incomplete. San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge registered today at the CW35.com. Always look forward to doing that high school All-Star game on January the 7th. That's going to be a lot of fun.
And tickets are on sale.
Brandeis has Connor Hagee in there at the 45, ready to return this punt. Marshall's had punting problems all game long. Here's another high, short one, and bounces right there at the 40. And Jeff Fleener and company have a good chance to take a look at some of the young guys on his squad. And we got a lot of college football this weekend going on, some good games. UTSA needs this one. Southern Miss is a good football team. They beat Kentucky out of the SEC. They're 4-1, and UTSA is opening up the home conference schedule against Brett Favre's alma mater. Then on Fox on Saturday, we got the Ramblin' Wreck taking on Pitt. And number 5, Washington, getting lots of pub this year, taking on the Oregon Ducks, and you never know what uniforms they're going to be wearing. New running back in the ball game, Christian Carrillo, senior. Kyle Fitzgerald still the quarterback. Gabe Sanchez in at receiver, as is Elias Elizondo.
Yeah, this is always really cool. You get a chance to see some guys that maybe not get a chance to play, and then again, you know, there's always two sides to the coin. You never know when you're going to need a backup to have some game experience that might pay dividends down the road when you get some injuries.
And you're getting some young guys, some varsity experience. And some of them are really good players as sophomores that have made the varsity, and you get a little look and see how they're going to react to be playing on a Friday night. This young man hops off. That again was the third-team running back, Christian Carrillo. So they'll run out Jalen Griffin, who's a starting wideout, and they'll go 4 wide with Chandler Iturriaga and Connor Hagee now in there as an H-back. Straight drop for Fitzgerald, fires, good arm. That ball's almost picked off right through the hands of Marshall's Ezreal Powell.
Powell's already had a big night, and the coaches couldn't say good things about him too. He's another one of those guys that is really trying to figure out how good he can be, but you know, he plays the part, he looks the part. It's a sophomore safety. He's played some wide receiver and some QB before. We're doing a nice job back there as he is a young guy getting some varsity time on the field, and a lot of it because of the special talent that he is.
Yeah, he plays a lot. Remember, Lambert's just a junior. A lot of juniors on that defense. Brandeis sent the punt it away, but we have a whistle. May have a delay of game.
Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, it remains 4th down.
Good job by our crew tonight, too. Want to take our hat off to those guys. Only time we second-guessed them on a replay, they ended up being exactly right on a tough call. Greg Dockery and his crew, Bo Campbell and Brian Anderson, Jim Van Geffen, Tom Kales, Brett Ullman, and Artie Ritterman. Nice job by them tonight. Fitzgerald's the punter here on this series, and this one's going to bounce nicely for the Broncos inside the 2. And it'll be down right there at about the 2-yard line. And Marshall will have the football down 48-6 when we come back.
For the win. Kick is up. Kick is good. Kutari from 48 yards. The Marshall Rams.
We've had some great ones on TNL over the years. The Marshall Rams giving us one of the most thrilling games ever with that 48-yard walk-off field goal by Baduri 5 years ago. Good defense by Brandeis stretching that one out as Janile Sedberry tried to get to the edge, but Michael Rodriguez wouldn't let him.
See, even you put your backups in and you can see how well coached these guys are. Everybody's staying home, and young man making a play right there on a really good football player.
Marshall backed up to their own 1-yard line after a loss of 1. Ryan Lucero turns and hands, and Sedberry does a good job of picking up 5. Gives it a manageable situation here on 3rd down.
Hey, look who it is, number 2, Ian Blake. Don, you know, he's already committed to Navy a couple of weeks ago. Outside linebacker, and he talked about just the quality kid they got at Brandeis. Coach Fleener was telling me they got 9 kids in the top 100 ranked in their school class rankings, and this young man turned down Ivy League schools, Colorado State. He's been a team captain since his junior year, which is rare for a Coach Fleener team. He was a defensive end early in his career, but that's one of the things I like about Coach Fleener, Don, is that he's got a lot of these kids' their best interest at heart. That's a nice run. But, you know, he knew that this young man would project out better if he was at the linebacker spot. So that's where they put him. And he's really turned some heads at that spot, and obviously he's going to get a chance to play at the next level. But you know, obviously super intelligent, along with quite a few of his teammates. Corbett's a really good student. McGowan's a really good student. I could go on and on and on. I mean, these guys, they're doing it on the football field, and they're also doing it in the classroom too, which, you know, garners all my respect, and I know yours as well.
Yeah, that's another impromptu care 1st down, but yeah, I would turn down a lot of those schools too. They do not, appointments to Annapolis do not grow on trees. Something like 1 out of every 1,500 applicants.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot, automatic 1st down.
You get a chance to go to the United States Naval Academy. That is quite an honor.
I think Coach Fleener's a little ticked off at that because it was just a couple of kids going at it. It was kind of hard to single out one of them, but it's all right, man. Those refs have a hard job.
Is coaching in his blood or what? His dad, one of the greats, and played for Jim Streety. Lucero completes a pass out, still on his feet. Carlos Coppins did a great job catching the football and dancing forward for 1st down.
Another nice play here by the Marshall Rams late in this football game. And as you can see, the fight that Coach Williams talked about. And Don, I know we've seen this program with him under the helm, and you can see the strides that are being made here.
Oh yeah, he's turned these guys into good, competitive young men with a positive attitude. I mean, that's hard to do when you go 0-10 last year, but just looking in their eyes and talking to them pregame, this is a team that had high hopes going into this football game, and they're still fighting it.
Well, you know, we talked about Marshall, too, being the oldest school in Northside with the oldest community, and the thing I like about Coach Williams is he gets it. It's more than just about football. He said, you know, they're trying to teach really the 3 parts to every life: the spirituality, the physical, and the mental. He said the physical is easy. The mental, well, that's going to take some work. And he said, you know, the spiritual isn't just about God. It's about, you know, doing some things that are outside of yourself. You know, he's got these kids, they're going to elementary schools and they're reading to kids, and you know, he's got a lot of his kids that are going to go down to the local voting precincts and help guide voters on voting day. It's a really nice play there too. So, you know, sure, you want to have a really good football team and you want these kids to take some of these lessons that they're learning out here into their next stage of life, but it's also about giving back and really making the Marshall program and all their sports there at the school really part of the community, not just something we do one night a week on Friday.
They're inside the Vantage College red zone as Sedberry keeps pushing forward to the 10-yard line. Hey, it's not just the elementary schools. I think we're all going to be in need of some positive encouragement on voting day.
What you said times a zillion.
Just go in blindfolded and throw dart.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
I know it. Hard to get excited. But again, you know, it's showing each individual kid the importance of being selfless. And it's kind of cool. You know, you can see the bonding that goes on when you're doing this day in and day out, and the hours and the time that these kids are putting in. And they do have some talent on this team too. I mean, they're gifted at the skill spots. They got some really nasty guys on the defense, and you know, they should be proud of what they're building here at Marshall High School.
They're still fighting right here in the red zone, trying to score. Love the fight from the Rams. Here's Davis, gonna score. Touchdown, Marshall. Norman Davis. There's no quitting these Rams.
Show them all, Norman. Just really good balance and patience. Stopping on a dime and then cutting back up the middle and finding his way, and has a nose for the end zone. Again, I just love the fact that this guy can get some dirty yards. Every time he touches the football, he can also pop them too.
Having some troubles with the snap as trying to fight for this extra point. Not going to happen. Brandeis will sling him down, and good for Coach Williams and his Marshall Rams. Easy to throw in the towel at this kind of point in the game, but not from his kids. It's 48-12 on Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Marshall's got something to smile about on the UIW Smile Cam. You can earn a degree of difference at the University of the Incarnate Word. We got a chance to call their football game the other night against Texas State. And I tell you what, Larry Kennon's got that program on the rise. Good young talent, good athletes, improving talent level there at Incarnate Word.
It's kind of fun watching all these programs kind of grow up. That's the one thing I think we've noticed too, Don, just doing these college games is, man, there are players everywhere.
Yeah, really, really good talent. UTSA is starting to get a lot of Brandeis has it across the 25. Time to tell you about our $2,500 T&L band grant. We saw these great bands at halftime. Brandeis and Marshall, you want to vote for them. Make them eligible for one of these, for the $2,500 band grant. Just text band 13 for Brandeis to 45203. Band 14 for Marshall to 45203. No spaces. If you need more instruction, go to the CW35.com. Our thanks to North Carolina Furniture Direct in San Marcos.
And Don, apparently North Carolina Furniture Direct in San Marcos has kind of upped the ante on this, and the winning band is also this year going to get a recliner that they could put in the band office somewhere.
Nice.
And if they can't find a spot for it, I know I can use it at my crib.
Got a new quarterback in there, Benny Saldana. Senior getting a look. Anthony Washington, the freshman defensive back, making the tackle.
Yeah, it's interesting watching this Brandeis team tonight, Don. You know, they started the year, we talked about their defense and having to rely on that, and they only had one returning starter up front. And, you know, they got some wide eyes early. They had to scrimmage Judson to start the year, and, you know, Coach Fleener said, hey, our guys weren't scared, but you know, when lights come on, sometimes things change. And so I think he thought that was a pretty good experience for them to see what this is all about early when he had so many new guys playing. But he also said, you know, we had to kind of slow things down a bit as a coaching staff with some of the things that they were trying to do and let these kids kind of get their experience, you know, really implement some things that we thought that they did well. But they are playing at a different level now, and he really feels like it's because of who they played. You know, they beat Bernie Champion. He really felt like they were really fortunate to win that game because obviously we know how good they are. But he said now if we had to go back with the way we're playing right now, he really feels like they could have flipped the script on some of these games that they lost early on. That's how much confidence he's gotten and how much improvement he's seen from his own group.
Well, great opportunity to coach here as he's teaching that young man, that young quarterback, how to manage the clock. 35 seconds were on the play clock, and they're just trying to burn it here. And he was saying, pointing right to the clock, this is a senior quarterback who's getting first chance to play, and still teaching and coaching. Jeff Fleener.
Yeah, a lot of knowledge. And he talked about, what's demanded of his student athlete at Brandeis High School. Of course, a lot of it starts with the kid and the parents and all that, but Coach Fleener got it done when he was a kid too, and he's kind of taken that, and you can get it done in the classroom and also be an athlete, and that's kind of what's expected, and he's not going to settle for anything less.
They snap it with 2 on the clock, and young man will take a vicious hit as Marshall's defensive linebacker Dylan Smith goes up there and lays a lick on him. Hey, coming up Sunday on Fox 29, we've got NFC football for you. Got the Eagles and the Lions at noon. And then on Sunday Night Football on News 4, the Giants and Packers. Just might get Chuck away from a baseball game.
That's doubtful, bro. You got
the Packers?
Rangers and Jays playing in Game 3 that night. I'll TiVo the Packers.
Victory formation here on second down, and they'll snap it, and maybe one more, and that'll do it. Brandeis is going to win this football game 48-12 on the feet of Ryan McGowan, among others. Jeff Fleener's got a very impressive ball club here, District 28 6A, and very impressed with the Marshall Rams. Their fight all the way to the end, and this is a team that will keep fighting for Tim Williams all the way through the rest of the season. He's on the verge of turning this thing around. And he's got some athletes, and better than that, he's got kids that have bought in. No quitting these Rams tonight. That's going to do it. The Brandeis Broncos, 48-12 winners, and they'll go to 2-0 in district play. Somewhere, Marshall Fleeners, I know, watched this football game, watching his son.
Final score.
A lot of reason to celebrate.
Broncos 48, Marshall Rams 12.
Anthony Green, the senior linebacker, who's got a leg injury, and it's really cool that he's leading the charge out here to end this football game.
Still with his guys. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Mike Hernandez will hand out the hardware to our winning coach and the player of the game. Don't go anywhere. The postgame show's next.
Welcome to the Church's Chicken postgame report, presented by Protection One Security Solutions.
Brandeis Broncos, the big winner. Except now they have to talk to Mike Hernandez. I'm kidding, Mike. Take it away.
That's the good part, guys. That's the good part. All right, congratulations, guys. How about a hand for yourselves? And for a very feisty Marshall Rams team, they stayed with you. Give them a hand as well. Yeah. I guess that's the best we're going to do. All right, so we're going to start out with the most valuable player trophy. And again, there was a lot of really good plays on both sides of the ball. Outstanding effort, so congratulations to all that. Tonight's MVP trophy goes to Ryan McGowan. Senior tailback. Congratulations, son. How you doing?
Thank you.
All right, Ryan didn't have a bad day. 17 rushes, 169 yards. And 3 touchdowns. Let's give him a big round of applause. Okay, so we were talking all night. It seemed like you were running like at 3/4 speed, like you never had to really fire it up.
No, sir. The first half, I came out, my chest was hurting a little bit, and then I had to come back and get ready during halftime and just put it back together in the second half.
Good. Well, listen, I want you to turn around and thank your offensive line, because they opened some holes there that a truck could have gone through.
Thank you, O-line.
All right. Let's have another hand for Ryan McGowan, your most valuable player. Coach, congratulations. You guys are off to a great start. And as you were saying before the game, you guys seem to be catching momentum. 5-2 now, 2-0 in district. And the guys seem to be getting better each week.
Absolutely. We've really hit our stride at the right time. We're playing great football right now on both sides of the ball. Really got the offense clicking, the special teams clicking, and our defense again is just playing lights out every single week. And now that we got it all together, we're feeling really good where we're at.
Okay, so next week you have Brennan.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do to prep for them?
Well, the nice thing is we got this game over, got Thursday Night Lights game over, but these guys have been talking about this game for a little bit behind my back because they know I don't want to hear about it. But we're excited to get to this game, get a good chance against Brennan, who's obviously the tops in our district the last few years, and so we're ready to go match up with them and have a great time.
Well, I'll tell you what, just looking at the team, you guys, I think you have a better than average chance of actually taking them on and beating them.
Well, week in and week out, it just takes our best football. We're going to try to go 1-0 next week, and if we come out and play our best, I like our chances.
So I ran into your dad a little while ago. He came by and said hi, Marshall Fleener. It must be great to have him out here. He said, I'm out here watching my boy.
Oh, it's absolutely a great time having him out here, and just everything I learned from watching him on the sideline, and then just how every single person you meet around here that knows him and has a story about him, and so it means a lot to have him out here with me.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let me give you the trophy. I'm going to stand out of the way. Congratulations to the Brandeis Broncos, victorious tonight, Thursday night light winners. We get the trophy. 48-12 over the Marshall Rams. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. We also have our pick and pull collision of the game, and tip your cap to that Marshall defense. They had a nice goal line stand that forced Brandeis into a field goal instead of a touchdown there. That's about the only time McGowan was stopped all night. And Marshall coming up with tonight's pick and pull collision of the game. We'll be back with highlights and we'll wrap it up. It's Brandeis 48, Marshall 12. Join us with more post-game show when we come back. Welcome back. We're wrapping it up at Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. The final Brandeis 48, Marshall 12. Mitch Huffman would be glad for us to present our Night Office Solutions play of the night. This was very interesting. Sean Mellish ran for a touchdown on a fake punt, but there was a flag, and they faked it again on the very next play.
Well, you can see what kind of athlete this kid is, Don. I mean, as we said, he can slash you, he can run the wildcat. He could start in the secondary for this team if he had to, but they want to get him the ball as much as possible. He returns kicks. He's also a huge decoy, as we said, too. Opens up some stuff for some other kids, but they just love him. Say he's no diva, just a great kid all the way around.
That was our Night Office Solution play of the night. There was a lot of good ones for the Brandeis Broncos, as Ryan McGowan, as you heard, our player of the game, running for 3 touchdowns. Good job by the entire Brandeis offensive line. Quarterback Mason Corbett was great. Marlon Flores was fantastic. Overshadowed tonight by McGowan, but that young man is a great receiver and a runner in his own right. And then Davis scored for the Marshall Rams, who didn't quit all game long and kept fighting the good fight for Coach Tim Williams. Well, that's going to do it. Coming up next week on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights, we've got Sam Houston and Highlands. We're going to be at the Rock Pile 2 games in a row, and then Holmes and Taft back here in the Northside playoff game. So we're about halfway through the season. Happy that you're joining us each week, and it'll be fun watching those teams over the next few weeks. For Chuck Mikatinik and Mike Hernandez down on the sidelines, for our statistician extraordinaire, Mark Kusenberger, Derek Machen, the intern, the spotter, doing a great job as always. The incomparable Chris Kotfuss, talking in my ear, telling us what to say. The producer, the executive producer, is Dean Radla. Till next time, we'll see you on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Good night, and God bless.